Right, work sessions are an opportunity for board members to discuss issues informally with staff and invited guests. The board encourages members of the public to attend work sessions and listen to discussion. There's generally no opportunity for public comment. Members of the public wishing to address the board are welcome to do so during the board's regularly scheduled meetings. First is the discussion of the formal agenda. We do have an amended agenda in front of us. We're going to be removing item 17 and adding item 17A. 17 is the Fair Board appointments. We will be having interviews coming up. And
Do you know when?
I think we had
May 28th.
May 28th. There we go.
Uh,
May 28th, we will have the interviews for applicants for the Fair Board. And then item 17A is the Columbia Memorial Hospital hazard mitigation contract.
Extension, right?
No,
No, it's actually the hazard mitigation assistance grant program. So this is for the pre-construction work.
oh,
Any questions on that? Those two changes, anything else that we want to review on the agenda this evening, talk about, discuss?
I can tell I'm a nerd still. Cause I
There's
call
no
this,
disagreement.
I know. No, I embrace that part. But to see the way these policies are so clearly written and how empowering they are to get people to say, yes, so we can do things. And when they can't, to make it clear why and to limit the negative, to emphasize, I just find it very uplifting.
No, our staff does a fantastic job and appreciate the way things are laid out for us. Any other comments, questions? I see Commissioner Webb is joining us virtually. Commissioner Webb? Okay. And yeah, the Commissioner Thompson was also referring to the rolling agenda. Do we have any questions on anything going out to June 11th?
if I can, I just want to remind the board, as well as these emails have also been going out to the budget committee. So you all should be receiving your documents tonight. The April 30th is a virtual daytime meeting. May 7th is a virtual daytime meeting. And then May 14th is in person, but people can participate virtually since it is hybrid. And the May 14th, usually your work sessions begin at 5 p.m., but that day it will begin at 4 p.m. All the other meetings will start at the regular 10:30 work session time.
All right. Yeah, very good. Anything else? Questions, comments? All right, we'll move on to our first topic, ordinance 25-02, clear and objective standards for housing. On page 4 of our agenda, and Gail Hendrickson, our community development director. Welcome, Gail.
Yes, thank you. So, thank you for entertaining this topic this evening. This is legislation that's being proposed that's come out of Senate Bill or House Bill 3197 back in 2023. And it requires the county to adopt by July 31st, clear and objective standards for housing. And so we started this project back in December of 2023. We held 4 work sessions with your board, 3 in our, last year and 1 back in February of this month. When we came for the first reading back in March, Commissioner Webb especially, I know, had a lot of questions about this particular ordinance. So we scheduled it for a work session today, which will be followed by the first reading if your board decides to do that later this evening. What we've done throughout the entire almost 1.5-year process is we have expanded our mission, so to speak, and looked through everything in the code that might possibly touch housing. So not just the zoning districts themselves, but everything that could possibly impact how housing gets constructed. And so we've done a significant amount of rewriting. We had submitted it in February to Department of Land Conservation and Development They sent back comments, between March 24th and March 26th of this year, right before your first reading. And so we've incorporated all those comments to the best of our ability. Those have been, taken in, and really, I'm just here tonight to answer any questions you might have about the process or why we're doing this or what specifically we may have done.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Gail. We have any questions? Do we have any?
I'm curious what the planning commission's thoughts were in regards to the process. Did they have any red flags? Were there any concerns?
Yeah, so we worked with the planning commission for through 3 drafts on this. And so there were concerns that always came out, especially during the first draft, when we were rewriting a lot of things. And so questions about, well, why do we require applicant neighborhood meetings for specific things but not others? Or, you know, sometimes there were suggestions about how we could make something clearer. Overall, the feedback we got during the public hearing on the 3rd draft, which was held in March, I believe, of this year, was that they felt the process had been good. They recommended your board approve it as presented, and felt that this was a good step forward for the.
Because I know that our purpose was to just try to streamline and simplify and promote housing. And so, you know, as best as we can as a government, a small government, I feel like that, you know, whatever came out of that process with our planning commission's insight, because I know we have 2 builders on the commission. Both of them, I think, are specifically housing. And so I would really lean personally on their insight of whether or not this assists or hinders the process. Thank you. You're welcome.
I wonder. Dolphins and burritos?
That will be a separate subject, Commissioner.
Okay, well, because you know what? Reading this word for word was relatively easy, it was relatively straightforward. I really appreciate the work of staff and the Department of Land Conservation and Development and the Planning Commission and everybody who had some kind of input in this. There were just a couple dozen little issues that we've discussed, but it's a pretty piece of stuff. I just want to know about dolphins and burritos.
So just for clarification, that is specifically with regard to the updates of goals 16, 17, and 18. So that's not tied to the clear and objective standards for housing. So we will be talking about that after this agenda.
I know, but I thought I might.
I just didn't want
Yeah,
anybody to start wondering why we didn't have anything about dolphins in amendment 2502.
No, clear and objective standards really make sense because having been part of neighborhood planning organizations, it can often turn into something that's very personal and subjective and constrictive. So I appreciated what you did to make this clear as well. I mean, I was joking about the 16, 17, and 18, but the clear and objective, I mean, the whole tenor of land use planning is turning to be supportive, getting to yes, and empowering people to do the right thing while having constraints on not doing the wrong thing. So I appreciate all of that work. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Thompson. Do we have Commissioner Webb still?
She could be off camera.
She's on.
Okay.
Could be coffee.
Any other comments on this? Questions? Okay. Good. Good work.
Thank you.
Next, comprehensive plan update goals 16, 17, 18. And this is on page 6, and we have David Payne. Welcome.
I know. I just soft soaked you up all the way, but you did. Well, no, because it takes something to produce a document that's like this.
Yes.
Really great.
Yeah, took a little bit of typing, for sure. Good evening, commissioners. I'm David Cook, Senior Planner with Watson County Community Development. I should be joined virtually by Garrett Phillips of the Columbia River Estuary Study Task Force.
He's not.
That may have
But you
happened,
got this.
but either way, we'll move on. Yeah, so. Okay, thank you.
He was in that meeting earlier, so he's around.
Okay, good. Well, so last week, you may remember we presented our draft policies for the comprehensive plan update to goals 16, 17, and 18. We heard from your board the importance of using should language for draft policies, which are not a state or federal mandate. In our next draft, we're going to make those language changes to the policies with the exception of two topic areas that we wanted to identify for your board tonight. Before that, I wanted to briefly mention that staff received public comments on our agenda item this evening from Scott McMullen of the Oregon Fishermen's Cable Committee Incorporated. We've arranged to speak with Mr. McMullen tomorrow so that we can incorporate his concerns into our next draft. His comments were all really related to cable landing policies found on pages 109 to 111 of your agenda. Okay.
I'm glad you're doing that. I know that he's been very active in this for decades. And so I'm glad that we're giving him the time and listening to his concerns.
So that kind of segues into our next section of new policies in goal 18, which is on cable landings. Cable landings, all of these policies are newly crafted. There's no state mandate, there's no federal mandate, which requires us to enforce these policies. But it's our opinion that some policies do need to be mandated in order for the county to have a seat at the table for potential future cable landing projects. We need some policies with shall language in order to have an enforceable policy. Certain federal actions within the county require consistency with the county's enforceable policies. So if we have no enforceable policies, we don't have a voice such a project were proposed in the future. We wouldn't be able to influence the development of such a project in a way that suits our unique area. So cable landings, for example, without enforceable policies in a very dystopian, unlikely worst case scenario future, a federal agency could decide to build dozens of cable landings along our coastline, and with no enforceable policies, we don't have any legal argument to contest them. That's really the only section of policies where which is not a state or federal mandate, which we are recommending shall language for those policies. We have some shall language policies proposed in the dredging and dredge material disposal sections of goals 16 and 17 for many of the same reasons about enforceable policies. Our existing section on dredging and dredge material disposal already uses shall language for most of the policies, which is why we've been allowed to enforce our local policies with the Army Corps and their recent dredging projects. We received some comments earlier today from Commissioner Thompson. So thank you for communicating those to Gail and to me. We'll rope those comments into our final draft. And if any commissioner has a question about our draft policies or would like to make a recommendation, please let me know.
Yeah, Commissioner Banks.
The email that we received earlier today, I felt was very descriptive. So I appreciate that you guys are going to take some time with him to discuss his concerns. Because I have a feeling that I would have similar concerns. I don't want to limit. But I also agree that, if you don't have policies, then you turn into, the pin cushion, lots of pins sticking out. And so I appreciate that. I do want to circle back to making sure that along with shall policies or any of the policies written, just identifying which one is a federal, which one is a state, so that there's a more robust conversation, because for me, it's just tell me why. I want to know why. I get that the policy is there. I get you've had a robust communication with a stakeholder group, but I wasn't part of the stakeholder, I wasn't participating in the stakeholder group, so I didn't hear the reasoning to the why. And so any additional policies or any shall language, I would really like it to have a description as to why, not just citing, well, because it was there prior. Because for me, that's not enough of a reason. We've seen a lot of issues at the state level because something was there prior, led to issues that we're dealing with now. And I think we can all sort back to Measure 110. That's a prior, but we had to sort that issue out. And so I'm looking for, are there unintended consequences down, a decade down the line for us? Which you've identified one with if we don't have a policy, that could be an unintended consequence. And so I fully support that mentality. I just want more of tell me why. Because on the front side, yeah, it looks great, but what led to this needing to be here? Or what led to that shall language? Was it a situation that created it or caused it? So that's what I really want to make sure of, is that we're not just inputting language to make us feel good. That we're inputting language that has value and a reason behind it. So, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Webb has. Commissioner Webb,
I'm sorry, but I'm really not feeling well and I don't think I can make it through this meeting. Will we still, even if, I mean, we'll still have a quorum, right? I'm
No,
sorry.
we actually won't.
Oh.
During a regular meeting, we will not have a quorum on one of the items, which is the
Hospital.
hospital. I will have to not participate in that one because I work at the hospital.
Is it possible to open and do the meeting and just that agenda item, then close?
No, County Council?
I am sorry, but I'm sort of at the point that listening to Commissioner Bang's lack of support for zoning in general. I'm so I can't do it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Good night.
Well, what can we do here?
Yeah, so even though you're declaring an actual conflict of interest, there is an exclusion nowhere that allows you to vote if your vote is required to make the full form. You're still not allowed to participate in the discussion, but you can still make the vote.
Okay, so I can open that item, declare my conflict, not participate,
But still make the vote.
but still vote.
Yes. If the exception comes, if you don't have a full form without your vote.
Question, what is the time frame of the need for this?
So Justin unfortunately is not able to be here tonight, but you know, it is just given the circumstances of everything with the federal funding, we are wanting to get it signed sooner rather than later, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to do this until the May 14th agenda.
Can we call an emergency meeting at the next work session?
Yeah, this is really, yeah, I know that
I mean,
from my standpoint, I know that I've been following this very carefully and closely. Time is of the essence to get this
What if it's
executed.
It's legal. So
yeah, what, like, I guess what is the potential unintended consequence to our chair?
So
If you
let me
vote.
just read the ordinance. So we're at 344-0. And it talks about, the first part is declared actual conflict, so you can't participate or vote, but then it says, if any public official's vote is necessary to meet a requirement, the minimum number of votes be taken to take official action, they're able to vote, but not participate as a public official in any discussion of the issue. So it's pretty clear.
Okay.
Like, to me, it's.
Okay. Well, thank you, County Council. That's what we'll do. And I'm sorry that Commissioner Webb had to excuse herself from the meeting. If she's sick, I understand that she's not feeling well. If it's because she doesn't want to have discussion and debate, I don't understand that. This is strange because I know that she's missed a lot of meetings. I know that she's been ill, but we've got to be able to have discussion and differing viewpoints during work sessions, regular meetings, you name it. So I don't know what her motivation was that she had to leave, but this is not the way that we can continue as a Board of Commissioners. We need to be able to have these discussions. We need to be able to take action on items. Now we're hamstrung trying to work around a quorum because, Commissioner Webb doesn't want to participate. So I hope that if she is sick, that she, is able to get to urgent care or to get some assistance, but this is frustrating.
you bet, but we do have a quorum. We have legal standing. with the
Yeah.
quorum. It's not, there's a reason it's in the law. So can I go back to the other discussion?
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
I want to know about Dolphins and
I
Doritos.
wanna know. Well, because I did, I went through every single page and every
Yeah.
single word and found typos and, IEs and EGs and, just a few little nitpicky grammar things from somebody who's been reading these for a long time, but dolphins and burritos, I'm serious.
So it's clear we need to expand our definition section. Yes, but yes, the dolphins are groups of pilings in in the water. That's just the name that was given to them for whatever purpose with dolphins. So a group of pilings stuck in the river. And then a burrito is a type of erosion control
Oh, does it?
measure. Yeah, it's like wrapping cloth or sometimes plastic, maybe filled with sand, maybe filled with some other type of material that
Okay.
you use to stabilize it.
Well, Well, this is
There's no way the layman would understand that.
But, this really makes a lot of sense. It makes sense to me that we have enforceable language. Because Thursday, there's a meeting with the Department of Land Conservation and Development in Seaside to talk about offshore energy. So this is an emergent issue. It may be that given the problems with the supply chain and the other kinds of, I don't want to say chaos is the word that comes to mind, about all kinds of federal issues, that it won't become an issue for a while. If it does and when it does, because we are moving in the direction of cleaner energy, we'll be ready to deal with it in a way that we aren't now. So, correct, good for that. And I don't feel the need to have the explanation. I know that you would like it. I trust if you say it was in there that it's been vetted adequately, and I am conscious of the workload and the need to go forward. So what's in there makes sense to me, and I don't need to have that level of explanation and oversight over these changes, because they seem clear and logical and reasonable in every way. So I think you and I are in a different place on that.
Would it be, would it be agreeable to have, if it's not a state or federal mandate, to be able to identify those that we're adding shallow language to? I mean, I think that would be
Absolutely.
something that
Basically what I'm
that's what you're asking for.
Yeah. Give me the explanation.
I mean, I think if we're doing something on our own, it's a good idea to know what that is. So, yeah. I want to acknowledge Scott McMullen with the Oregon Fisheries Cable Committee. I understand, and we all saw your letter today. I understand you're going to be having a conversation tomorrow. So appreciate all that you do, and I appreciate the staff and getting together and talking through some of your concerns with the gold policy changes.
And helping us balance economic vitality with neighborhood livability and
Absolutely.
good land use.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions on, yes, Commissioner Banks?
Just thank you for summarizing what I said by just simply saying anything that is not a state or federal, guideline to tell me why. That's all I want. Just give me a reason.
Yeah, we'll make sure at the first reading of the ordinances that adopt these, we'll have an explanation. We'll describe that for you.
Okay,
Perfect. Thank you.
thank you. Anything else on the conservation plan, the comprehensive plan update goals 16, 17, 18?
Oh, prior to the first reading, and I know you said that what we have today, what I read through today, did not have all of the shalls changed, but it will be changed. If somebody would just give me a heads up, I assume that that'll be the next document that we see, would be all of those changes. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, well, so the next document we'll be drafting is taking all of our stakeholder comments, all of the planning commission comments, and all of your board's comments, and addressing them all in the fashion that they're addressed in the text. We will be taking this to the planning commission for a formal recommendation, and then if the planning commission at that time has any recommended changes, we'll make those, and then that's what you'll see.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Thank you very much, David. Appreciate all your hard work on this and continued hard work. So we'll be coming back July. Is that right?
July 25th,
July,
or June 25th and
June
July
25th.
9th.
Excellent.
coming up soon.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. We don't have any other items on our work session, so we'll be able to take a good, healthy 35-minute break.
We have an executive.
Oh, no. Oh, okay, well, sorry.
And
Yeah.
if anybody.
I was getting so excited, taking a little
Yeah.